Air enters through the air filter, is regulated by the throttle body, passes through the intake manifold, where it is then mixed with fuel and ignited by those fuel injectors. Okay, after ignition, the air travels through the exhaust manifold and out through the exhaust.
Here we can see the exhaust pipe.
Due to the constant ignition, the engine gets very hot during operation. Coolant flows through the engine block to keep a constant temperature. Hot coolant flows out of the engine and into the radiator through the upper radiator hose. Because of the radiator's high surface area, air flowing through the radiator cools down the coolant. The cold coolant will flow back into the engine through the lower radiator hose, which is very hard to see. The engine determines the coolant temperature using a thermostat, which is right after the engine, and right before the upper hose. The entire coolant system is also pressurized to allow coolant temperatures to go higher without evaporating. This is done with a radiator cap. Most radiators also have a cooler overflow container, which can be determined by following the hose from the radiator cap. To ignite the air and fuel mixture, the car creates a spark with what are called spark plugs. Current goes in one side, and the arcing electricity creates a spark. The spark plugs will not be visible, but the spark plug wires will be easy to spot. These will be coming out of the engine block. You see 3 here, 1, 2, 3, and there's 3 on the other side. There will be as many as the cylinders in the engine. Following the spark plug wires, we see they meet at the coil pack. The coil pack creates the necessary voltage to create sparks. Following your spark plug wires, which are these 4, upwards, they'll meet at the distributor, which is inside this distributor cap thing, which all the spark plug wires come out of. And there's one wire which leads to your ignition coil, which creates the necessary voltage to create sparks. All electrical systems in a car are powered by a battery. The battery is easily identifiable by its warning stickers and commonly a handle. On the battery are markings that indicate positive and negative cables, and the positive cable is commonly red. Positive cable leads to the starter, which starts the engine turning. After the engine is running, an alternator, which is attached to the belts, which also identifiable by coils and fins, recharges the battery. The car are actuated by the master cylinder, which protrudes from a drum-shaped power brake booster from the driver's side firewall. The power brake booster gets its power from a vacuum provided by the intake manifold. Vacuum hoses can be found linking the two. Brake fluid is replaced through that thing. Other components attached to the belts include the power steering pump, the water pump, the AC compressor, which is commonly the largest, and of course, the crankshaft. Some cars come with a belt diagram for easier identification. The oil dipstick is used to check your engine oil levels.
And the oil drain plug can be identified underneath the car.
And the transmission dipstick is used to check your transmission fluid levels. You want to check your transmission fluid after the engine has reached operating temperatures, but manual transmission vehicles do not have this. Other parts include your washer fluid container, which is labeled at the top, your oil filter, which is like a white cylinder protruding from the engine block, your heater hoses, which go into the passenger compartment, your EFE canister is in there, and that's about it.